Welcome to episode 3 of Things We Shouldn't Admit. I am your host, Casey P., along with my brother from the same mother, Nick P. How's it going?
It's going great, Casey. How you doing?
I'm good. You're finally on the other side. You're usually listening.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought it would be just a nice, comfortable transition, but I'm feeling a little strange being here. I didn't know you had a whole studio set up in here. We're getting ready to shoot a dirty movie.
Oh, look how crooked the picture is, I just realized. But we'll roll with it.
Yeah, you've always been kind of an egomaniac. You wanted
I thought you were gonna.
center cam.
I thought you were gonna say I've always been crooked and make a Hillary joke.
Lock him up. Lock him up.
We usually do this episode or this show once a month, but Cody didn't have any stories, unfortunately.
Yeah, before we get into stories, you had one thing I wanted to bring up from a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Warzone got brought into topic, and you straight up said, "Fuck you, Nick." I'm sorry, Warzone has just been crazy addictive lately. I have a great time with it. It's a lot of fun. And first off, as far as things we shouldn't admit, I was playing the other day, and we had a victory, and I was so happy. It felt so good. And at first, I just said it as a thing to say that right now, at this point in my life, a Warzone victory feels better than sex. And the more I thought about that, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So I guess that's a perfect thing of things we shouldn't admit, because that's the truth. And I also want to say the last time I asked you to play games, I was like, let's play some games other than Warzone. You had some lame ass excuse like, I can't, I'm going to New York.
And I don't think it's other than Warzone. I think you said let's play Warzone.
No. Read your text. I said Wednesday you want to play some games, and next text said not Warzone.
Oh. I probably took that as a joke, like how that means Warzone.
No, it was not a joke. I mean, anything but Warzone. Because I love it when you're on Warzone, but it's obvious that you don't like it that much.
No, and it's faded. That's why I called you out, because I was trying to get you to play for a while. And you're like, I don't want to play Warzone.
Yeah, I think the thing about it is this is the first game since like the old Halos where like, a bunch of people I know are playing it. You know, that was what was so much fun about Halo, because everybody played it. And now I'm just keep finding more and more people that are in the Warzone that I had no idea. So there it is.
Oh. All right. Well, do you want to? Well, I guess you kind of told one there, but do you want to tell your first story?
No, why don't you go ahead? That was a good thing I shouldn't admit, because that's the truth. And if some people hear that, it's really gonna blow their mind. One person in particular. So.
Okay. Well, should I start with the stories from New York that I teased on the other podcast? Because that's kind of a few stories.
Yeah, that'd be great. Bundle them up.
All right. So some of these are just kind of quick stories. So this was our first night there, actually. We were walking from our hotel, the New Yorker, to Times Square, which is like a 2-minute walk. And we both got a text at the same time. But it was only a 2-minute walk from our hotel to Times Square, and just in those 2 minutes, we were looking around the buildings. It was New York. It was nighttime. Oh my God, it's beautiful. And then this guy was walking past this girl, and he said, "You can suck my dick in Brooklyn." And Danielle, what the? And then there was these girls passing the street. "Yeah, you heard me. You can suck my dick in Brooklyn." She kept screaming it. And she said, "What is going on? Can we just cross the street?" And that was our entrance to New York there. So that was just a quick one there.
You guys shoot over to Brooklyn?
We did, not then though. Later in the trip. Then we were getting our characters drawn, or our caricatures, you know?
Oh, yeah,
We did that in New York. Did you see the picture?
No, not yet. The one of Buckeye, is that what you mean?
No, our friend did that. We got one of us. I'll show you after this.
It was talented. It captured the hideousness of the dog. It's cool. I like it.
So we were getting those drawn, and it was in Times Square, so the craziest part of New York, and everybody's already walking around and looking at you. And this Asian man has us sit on the smallest stools in the world, so it's already uncomfortable. He's like, "All right, don't look at me, but just stare straight." So he said I stare straight past him. So it was already incredibly awkward, and it takes so long to draw it. And then Danielle's got hers drawn, and then as I was getting mine drawn, another Asian man that was not with him came up with like a GoPro, and he started filming me. And he's like, looked at, he was trying not to laugh and just kept it from my face the whole time.
How far in front of your face?
He was probably about 4 feet away, but that's not far, especially when you're just staring. And I just had to stare straight past him. And it was like right where he was holding the GoPro, just filming me the whole time. And Danielle kept like trying to look at me and say stuff, but I just had to stare straight ahead. So that one's much funnier if I had I wish I had a GoPro on me, because it's so much funnier if you see this happening.
You should have asked him for the video.
And then when you see the drawing, it gets even funnier when you see why he was probably recording it. I realized later after I saw the drawing.
Does the drawing have an Asian man with a GoPro in it?
No. He was in front of us, so it was us, the Asian guy drawing, and the Asian guy was behind him. But yeah, I wish he was behind us and gotten the drawing. That'd been awesome. He did try and give me a great deal. The picture, I think, was $30. And then he's like, I have this nice frame here, and if you get in $15 more, I'll give it to you. I'll put it in there so it doesn't get ruined. And I was like, I don't have any cash on me. And he's like, okay, $5. And I was like, I still don't have any cash. And I literally opened up. I had a fanny pack on me. And he's like, well, do you have the Cash App? And I was like, no, I don't. I almost said I have Venmo, but I was like, oh, God, no, I know where this is going. And he's like, there's ATMs all around. I was like, okay, I'll just take the picture. All right, I'll give you the frame this time. Oh,
so what?
Tough bargain.
He couldn't throw the frame in with it. Were you paying with a card? You couldn't just put the.
I was doing cash, and
okay.
I really did have just that much cash somehow, so it worked out perfectly. Because I probably would at least give him $5 extra, but it worked out for me.
Yeah, that happened to me. We went on a camping trip and we had to fly into Las Vegas, and when we were renting the rental car, the lady was like, you could get this SUV for only another $20 more a day. And I was like, no, that's all right. And she was like, well, you guys are going through some mountainous terrain. I don't even think the car you're taking will make it up these hills. And I was like, what are you talking about, lady? No, that's all right, but thank you. And then it turns out the reason she was doing that is because they were out of the car I was renting. And when we got out to the lot, the guy was like, well, here's the SUV. We're out of your guys' car. It's like, that bitch, dude.
Not bad. Another one was the homeless people there. I know some homeless people can be crazy everywhere, but it's a whole nother level there. We were crossing the street, and this guy was already yelling, so I knew something was going to happen. And then he crossed the street towards us, but we couldn't walk yet. And he got right in Danielle's face, and he said, I put these in quotes here, that he could kick all of our asses. And he's just right in front of her. And she's like, Casey, can we go? And try to pull me. I'll do it. I'll kick all your asses right here. I'm not going out. And I was like, this guy has no fucking clue what's going on. And then we crossed the street, and I still heard him telling other people that he's going to do it. And
go to Brooklyn. I'll kick your ass.
And then, we were on the subway, and we were on our way to Brooklyn, actually. And this guy, he looked like a perfect candidate for a shooter. He just kept pacing the bus and was real fidgety. And he was so awkward. The subways weren't even crowded. And so there's plenty of place to sit. But he just kept getting up, and they walked around, and they'd stand in front of people. And he did that, and he stood in front of me. And I was obviously trying to look away from him. And he just kept staring at me. And he just kept like fidgeting and just kept like bouncing around. And then he did it to Danielle. And then he walked away and did it to other people. And then we got to our stop. And of course he got out. And then he got out and sat right in front of the door where everybody would get out. I was like, oh, God, he's going to stop everybody from getting out or start shooting or something. And he's like,
drop his pants to his hands.
That would have been, well, not preferable what happened, but at least it would have been more funny. Then he got in front, but then he's like, oh, and he just kept doing that to people. And then once he got to Danielle, he got right in her face and bye, guys. And then he's like, have a good day. And then we just kept walking, but it's just the setup to it wasn't something crazy about to happen.
There you go. Never judge a book by its cover.
Well, I think he was definitely still a loose cannon. I don't think he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, you probably just caught him on the right day.
Uh-huh. This one is a very different kind of story and very cringy, but I don't know how well I can explain it. So we were in the Rockefeller Center, which is where they shoot all the NBC stuff. And I've been trying to find the Chrysler Building when we were there. And it was late at night, and we went up to like the main plaza. And this guy was like he's straight out of a sitcom. There was a black guy that worked there. He had a full-on suit, the whole get-up, and looked real professional. And he's like, "Hey, can I help you guys find something?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually, if you don't mind, we're trying to find the Chrysler Building. I'm just wondering the best subway to get onto and be able to get a good stop for the Chrysler Building." He's like, "Oh, yeah, the Chrysler Building. I can tell you that. Now, if I tell you, it's going to cost those snacks you got there." And we had a whole bag of full shit. And it was actually, if you've seen on the podcast, all those Hebrew snacks that we got at 7-Eleven. It was all those. So Danielle's like, I got to be honest, I don't even know what these snacks are. And he's like, "I'll take them." But we genuinely didn't even know what the fucking snacks were. And he was an employee there, so he wasn't like a crazy homeless person. He was just trying to be overly nice and funny, but they were not landing at all. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I can give you one of those if you tell me where it's at." "Okay, now, actually, I'm not going to tell you yet. You promise you'll give me one?" I was like, oh, my God, this joke was not funny the first time I've gone along with it and done a fake laugh.
I promise, Dad, I promise.
And this went on for probably like 3 minutes, which doesn't sound long, but that's a long time with somebody.
Sounds like a lifetime of just staring at somebody awkwardly.
And like I said, it wasn't like a crazy homeless person we expected. It was like an employee that asked us if we wanted help. And so he's like, "So that is the Chrysler Building is directly over there." And he's like, "Now, the snacks, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, actually," because he didn't answer my question at all where the subway stop was, which I already knew where the Chrysler Building was.
The building's 1,200 feet tall. I can see that.
I was like, "So do you know where the best subway stop is?" Ooh, I do, but that's going to cost more snacks." And I was like, oh, my fucking God, this is a question I originally asked. And then it was probably another 2 minutes of this. And then he finally let us go. And then as I was walking down the stairs, and now don't forget, next time I come back, I get those snacks for real. And oh, my God, even when I'm leaving, this fucking cringy joke still going.
You never gave him any?
No.
Did you try?
No. And then I'm glad I didn't, because we got on the subway, and I was like, I finally get to see it. We get out, and I was like, haven't we been here before? And I looked around, and we were right by the Empire State Building, so I think he thought the Chrysler Building was the Empire State Building. I was like, God damn it, after all that, he sent us the wrong way.
Well, at least you didn't lose any snacks.
Unless he's just totally fucking with us, but the fact that we're right by the Empire State Building, I think he just lives in New York and thinks that that's the Chrysler Building.
You're pretty sure he was an employee, though, right? Not just...
Oh, I know he was, yeah. He had a tag and a suit and everything. Unless he's just good at sneaking in there, you know? Maybe he had a YouTube channel himself. This one is going to sound like a fake story, so I'm glad Danielle was there, if you know me. So this guy we were in Central Park, and he was walking with his 2 dogs. Neither of them were on a leash. They're just running wild. And I'm pretty sure he's homeless. He's just spouting off a ton of nonsense and going about his walk, and it was pouring rain. And he's like, "Yeah, shake it, dog, shake it." So they were shaking all the water off him. "Yeah, like, shake it up, bro. And he was talking to me. "Yeah, what's that girl that sings Shake It Off?" And I was like, what the fuck? There's no way. I was like, Taylor Swift? "Dude, yeah, that's it. Taylor Swift, that's it." And I was like, what the fuck? There's no way. And then...
Just emitting from your pores.
Uh-huh.
We actually just came from her apartment.
And then he was like, "Dude, if you guys want, down there by the water, great spot to smoke weed. I just did it. It's awesome. So if you guys want to head over there, me and my dogs just did it. Well, they didn't smoke with me, don't worry. I'm sure they sniffed some, if you know what I'm saying." And then he went walking away and still was just spouting shit off.
He sounded like a character. I would have spent some time with him.
Yeah, he was nice, and I wasn't actually like, oh, God, he might do something. He just seemed like he was just out of it.
And now you and Danielle were together, and he didn't ask Danielle who sings that Shake It Off song.
Nope.
He pointed right at you.
That's why I was like, where the fuck is the camera? What are the odds of this?
Was this one of the days she went to her apartment? Just have Taylor Swift glow going on about you?
I don't think it was. I'm sure Danielle will remember that and comment, but I don't think so. We also the next day we actually saw the Chrysler building. I found a way on my own, and we walked past. There was like 10 cops, and they were all tackling this homeless guy. And then there was another homeless guy screaming at them, and they were all arguing with him while they were trying to like wrestle with this guy. And she went, "Hey, do you want to help? You got advice? Yeah, I got advice." And then he's yelling at him. Then come help us. And then he just started yelling at them. And
what was the advice? Did you hear?
No, he didn't say it. But I guess he started saying something else because she was like, "Do you want to get tased too? Do you want to get tased too?" And I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" So I didn't stick around for that one, but it was a funny interaction to walk through. This one's kind of was just really stupid, but I put in here. So the first night I checked into the hotel, I was going down an escalator, and I walked down it because I was slow as shit. And this guy coming up, it was like, "Well, you New Yorkers are all the same, always in such a hurry." What the fuck? I literally checked in from Columbus, Ohio. I walked down this escalator because it's slow as shit. I was like, I don't know what's going on in this place.
Where are you from, bud?
Oh, you'll like this one. I went to get pizza one night.
Just one night?
This was at like 11:30, and it was we were right by Madison Square Garden. Well, it's just me to went get the pizza, and the game just let out, so there's a shitload of drunk people. And I crossed the street. It had a cross sign. There was no cars coming through, and this guy was by himself, so I don't think it was a joke. I crossed through. "Holy shit, bro! What the fuck's wrong with you? You just almost got hit by that car, bro. Do you not see that?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, thanks, man." There is no car in sight. "Holy shit, watch where you're going next time." And I was, what the I don't know if he actually thought there was a car there or what happened, but there was nothing even close to me.
I wonder how long he was at that crosswalk. What game is playing? There's sports games in?
Yeah, all of them are going now besides football because not in season, but the Rangers were playing their hockey.
And they're just full capacity?
No, they're doing, I think like 10% or something. It's like the Blue Jackets, they have like 5,000 a game, even though it can hold like 20,000.
That sounds awkward.
Yeah. I went to one. It was fun, but it is awkward. It's like a preseason game where people are into it, but there's not enough to really do it. And then Stinger's still there banging on the drum, but there's not enough people to like keep the flow going, so it's a little awkward.
I guess it's not as awkward as the cardboard cutouts.
Some of them are making it extra awkward because they're having
noise.
They're having fans, and they're still keeping cardboard cutouts for some of the stadiums, which seems extra weird.
Yeah, that's
the Blue Jackets aren't doing it, thankfully. Yeah. I told you this one, but the first time we got on a subway there's a man that got a bag of white powder and poured it into a piece of paper and started rolling it. And he did this like he just got a bag of snacks out. It was just right in daylight. It wasn't like trying to sneak in his pocket or anything. And started rolling it and then biting it and swallowing some of it. And then randomly would just spit out some of it on his own pants. And then the next bite, just swallow it.
I wonder what he was up to. No, he didn't do anything crazy?
Not around me. I don't know. Maybe that kicked in a little later. Because we got it off at like 3 stops later. So, yeah, nothing happened for us. I think that's it. So if you want to tell one of your stories, go for it. I'll make sure I didn't miss anything here.
Well, with it being Easter today, I actually remember something. Do you remember our cousin Ross?
Uh-huh.
I can't remember the last time. He could be dead for all I know. It's been like 20 years since I've seen him. But we were all at, I think you were there, but we were young. But we were all at Grandpa Pugh's house, and he had that big yard. And we're all running around, tossing a football, having a good old time. And then Ross, being the psychopath that he is, out in the field, he finds a dead rabbit and replaces the football with the rabbit. Do you remember that?
I don't think I was around this.
Starts
I'm sure I remember it.
A dead rabbit across the field. And at first, people are going to catch it like a football, then realizing it's a dead rabbit. And he spoils the game pretty quickly, obviously. But then he just got blood in his eyes, and he started chasing everybody around with the rabbit. It starts punting it across the field, just drop kicking it and watching it fly all over the place until he kicks it so hard one time the fucking head comes off the rabbit, and everybody just freaked out and went inside. But I just remembered that today. I was staring at all these beautiful bunnies for Easter.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember that or put it out of my mind, but I think that would stick in my brain.
Yeah, it's stuck in my brain. I clearly remember seeing that thing fly through the air. Like, what is wrong with you?
Oh, man. Yeah, I definitely don't know that story, and I don't think I was around for it, but
when's the
not
last
bad.
time you've seen Russ? Talk to Russ.
I have no fucking clue. So this was a story I probably shouldn't tell at all, but that's the point of the show.
It's the name of the game, right?
Yeah, I don't think you know this story. I think you actually would be like, oh, that's not bad, but my friends think it's like the worst thing in the world. So this was when I still lived at our parents', and I was alone in bed, and I got excited and started looking stuff up and doing the nasty, you know?
All right.
And then...
Can't really relate, but I understand what you're talking about.
I think you can. I think you need to admit some things here. I thought this would also make you feel better, be able to tell some stories if you need to. So then I finished, and then I went to grab the tissues I had next to me.
Finished what exactly? Okay, I'm kidding. Yeah.
But then before I could, Buckeye, my dog, got really excited and jumped up and started licking it. I was like, Buckeye, no! And I pushed him away really fast, and he only got a couple licks. But I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. But then all my friends like to retell that story and then make additions that I didn't say. Like my friend Dave. Yeah, he'll tell every new person I meet. And, yeah, he finished, and he's like, Buckeye, come here, I got a treat. No, and then you're
now
fucking...
His dog is just rabid for semen. Anytime he smells it, he goes crazy.
Yeah, and then they're like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, well, that's not actually the story. It's kind of like the episode of Dave we just watched, actually. Very similar to that.
Yeah, that tends to happen with story. Everybody puts their own evolution on them. But yeah, you're right. I don't think that's that bad at all. No, not your fault. You got a creepy ass dog. But I actually have a similar story on the list. Us being Ohio boys, you know, born and bred, birthplace of aviation, home of the Wright brothers.
I don't know if this is going to be relevant to that.
It will. You'll see.
Okay.
So as I'm a young man venturing out into the world on my own, do you remember the first time we took a plane and went to just like to Toledo?
I know we did that. I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, our parents wanted us to experience a plane, like they were going out of business next week or something. So they just took everybody to Toledo for some random reason. But the next time I was on a plane, just by myself, me, a friend, I guess he'll remain nameless, but you know who he is very well. He bought a car down in Florida and wanted somebody to come down there with him and drive the car back, which turned into a whole thing on its own because the car broke down in Georgia. We had to stay overnight in Georgia. The dude that towed us to the hotel, it was like a 70-year-old meth head and was telling us these crazy stories about ladies of the night. His name was Willie. He's a super nice guy, but out of his effing mind.
Every Willie we know has been that way. You remember the Willie we used to watch?
The one Mom used to babysit? Yeah. Remember his brother Ben? That kid was a straight creep. Super creepy. But anyway, so we're heading down to Florida on, remember the Skybus plane tickets? For real cheap tickets, going to Florida, having a great time. And I'm like, hey friend, I need to jerk off. And I'm just telling him because I'm going to go to the bathroom and do it. And he immediately turns to me and says, well, what are you going to do with it? And I was like, well, I plan on putting it in the toilet. But to him, it was like you couldn't do that or something. So I said, you know what? You know those little puke bags they put in the seat in front of you? Excuse me. I said, I'll be right back. And I took the puke bag, went to the bathroom, did exactly what you imagined, left it in the puke bag, and put the puke bag back. And this, unfortunately, turned into somewhat of a ritual we would do anytime I flew anywhere, until I became a. Till about a few years ago, I cut that off. But yeah, so in at least I'd say 4 or 5 planes, I ejaculated into the vomit bag.
And you said we did. Was it a ritual amongst everyone that did it?
No, I guess I'm just trying to push off some of the blame here. It was me. All me. Wish Buckeye was on those planes.
I kind of wish that you had to throw up and you forgot, and then you had to use it yourself and backfired.
I mean, in my head, being a young trickster, I just thought it'd be funny. But thinking about it older now, it's like how miserable it'd be to be like nauseous and sick on a plane, and then like, because obviously it dries, so you'd pull that bag open, it'd probably just like rip, you know, and they wouldn't have anywhere to throw up, and it's not really funny at all. But back then, I thought it was hilarious.
Not bad. Trying to get that ready. This is a quick one. I probably have told you this, but oh my god. But if you don't remember, I think you'll find it funny. So you remember our good friend Manning?
Oh yeah.
I'm comfortable saying his name because this one isn't like our stories. We're at a Columbus Stars game, which is like the Columbus Chill, a minor league hockey team. And it was his first hockey game ever, and he was so excited. And there was like probably 800 fans there, and not what you would actually get in a hockey experience. What were you gonna say?
It's a sold-out crowd.
Yeah. And then our section, there was probably 4 people in front of us. It's a small stadium to begin with, but this you can probably see where the story's heading. But they had this great idea to. You could buy pucks. They were like rubber, but they were pretty thick rubber. Like, you didn't want to get them. They were hefty. And they had a great idea. You could buy those, and then whoever landed it closest to center ice would get a prize. And
just
people
throwing them from your seat?
Which is a very minor league hockey thing. But people would throw them. Some people like hit the glass. People would get the ice. Manning, he's a big guy too, so he caught it back as far as he could, and he threw it, and he landed 2 seats in front of us and smacked this old woman in the back of the head, and he sat down really fast and just looked around. Not till it wasn't him, she turned around, and then I was staring straight at her, so she probably thought it was me. But then I tried to talk to Manning, and he was like. Just kept staring off in the distance, and I told him it wasn't him. And it wasn't a prank or anything. Later, dude, I was trying to throw it as far as I could on the ice. I don't know how it landed there.
Didn't land anywhere. It hit that lady in the back of the head. He was a lot of fun to do stuff with.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of shit with him. Remember that one time, I think we went to the zoo or something, but we were up in Powell, and it was like a big thing. We would always, I guess, again, I'm bringing other people into the fold, which really isn't true, but we loved driving around, and I'd press my balls and nuts against the window, and we'd love to watch people's reaction. And I don't know, nudity was just a thing. And one time, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the place that being up there is a great place for that. There's no little kids where there's ice cream. So
yeah.
Great location.
Not a affluent, majority white community. But yeah, the standard pressed ham on the window was just, it was fun, but it just wasn't getting our rocks off anymore. So Manny was like, what if we pulled up to, I think was it Culver's? It was like an outdoor ice cream place or something. Anyway, they had a bunch of outdoor seating, and we came up with the mastermind plan of going to parking the car on one side and then walking all the way to the other side of all the outdoor eating area, dropping my pants to my ankles, and then running back to the car, but through the outdoor seating area. And I was like, all right, I'll do it, but you guys have to promise me that the door won't be locked when I get back here. And I trusted them with every inch of my soul. And when I got back to the car, my most vulnerable position, pants at my ankles, the door's locked, and I've never forgiven you, Manny, for that.
And I didn't lock it, and he didn't tell me he was going to lock it, so he either genuinely didn't mean to, or he was that good of a trickster. And I wish I could have a sound clip of his laugh, because it was the most contagious, funniest laugh in the world. So
yeah, you could tell he was having a good time, but it almost sounded like an evil and maniacal laugh.
yeah, I'm not criticizing him, because I wish I could be like that. It'd be so fun. But thinking about that now, if I was his age and I had, like, Danielle's little brothers, I'd feel so uncomfortable doing that. I'd be like, no, guys, let's not.
Yeah, I always respected him for that. Because I mean, he was a nice dude, and he would take his girlfriend's little brothers out to have fun. But, like, you could tell he was legitimately having a good time, too. And it was no holds barred. We'd do all kinds of shit. And it was always tons of fun. And then he met up with us and went to PAX at one time years later. That was cool.
He met me for the first PAX I ever went to, the one I went alone at PAX East, the first ever PAX East.
It was just you two, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I drove with our sister, but then she didn't want to go, so it was just me for the first day, and then he met up with me.
It was after the divorce.
Well, did you have that story on the list, or?
No, I just got brought up because of Manny.
Okay. If you want to tell your next one, you can then.
All right, let's see here. The worst one's probably out of the way, he jerking off on an airplane, finishing in the vomit bags. I mean, that might be illegal, who knows. Okay, well, here's one that we were talking about. We'll set the stage here. We were both there for this one. So we have a little sister. We were probably 11 and 12 respectively, something like that. So we're about 11, 12 years old. She's a baby, months old, less than a year. Our father happens to work third shift, so sleeps most of the evening. So one night, normal night for my mother, watching soaps, cooking dinner, stuff like that. Becomes time for the old man to go to work, and she's going to wake Dad up, get him ready, help him get ready for work or whatnot.
This is one of Cody's favorite stories.
Oh, he's heard this one. I literally don't think she's forgiven us for this. I think it changed the way she looks at me forever. But anyway, she goes to get Dad up for work, do whatever they need to do. And asked us, hey guys, I'm going to get your dad up. Can you keep an eye on the baby for a while? And we just said, yeah, sure. As soon as she's out of sight, we come up with the master plan. Casey, being the Rugrat guy that he is, loves Rugrats, had a Tommy doll that was roughly the size of our little sister. So we immediately went over to our little sister and stripped all of her clothes. That sounds terrible.
Oh, I know. When I tell Cody the story every time, oh God, how do you say this part? Well, she was probably one, because it sounds bad, but she was, not that it was her fault, obviously she had no fucking clue, but I know she was laughing, and she was like, yeah. She could.
Really?
Yeah, it was like baby talk, but she went along with it because she didn't know that we were being fucking terrible.
So this must have been a hefty sized Tommy doll then, because I remember it was close to her size.
Because I think that was part of the issue. She was just learning how to walk. So if she got to the
yeah, you nailed it. That's a key component to this story.
Yeah.
So she must have been one somewhere in that area, just learning how to walk. And she says, "Can you keep an eye on your sister for a while?" Being the wonderful older brothers we are, we said, "Sure, absolutely, Mom. We'd love to." Take Michaela's clothes off, put them on the Tommy doll, and we get Michaela out of sight. And the thing cried, right? The doll cried on its own. Yeah. And just viciously throw the doll down the stairs. And I've never seen my mother move so fast. Because the doll's crying, and she can hear something go down the stairs, so it comes tearing out of the bedroom.
And me and you're, oh God, Michaela, no!
Yeah. Story tells itself. Mother comes out to a crying baby at the bottom of the stairs as her new daughter's just learning how to walk.
Yeah, that's Cody's favorite part. I always tell that. She comes out, no!
Yeah, she still doesn't find the humor in that. But it's classic Michaela's story. Couldn't have done it without her.
Yeah, and then she came waddling out of the closet or wherever we kept her, and she was laughing. Yeah, she was laughing because she had no clue what just fucking happened, how terrible we were. She was like, oh, these are my older brothers.
Yeah, we probably did something shitty in that sense, too. You want to play hide and seek? Get in the closet.
I'm pretty sure we did say that.
Some cons never get old.
I did forget the New York story I teased you before we got on here. It's a very quick one.
Oh,
I missed one. So there's another homeless man crossing the street. We crossed the street. The homeless man was passing us. There's a kid that walked by us going the direction he would be. And he was by himself, probably like 18, 20 years old, kind of looking at his phone, not doing anything wrong. And as soon as the homeless guy got next to him, what's up, faggot? And the kid, whoa, what? And then he just jumped right in front of his face, and the kid just like slowly walked away. And, so there was nothing that prompted that. He wasn't with another guy. There was absolutely nothing that happened.
Should cancel that man. He'll never be homeless in this town again after using language like that.
Yeah, it was probably tame for those people there. I feel like I would have had told you this story, but he comes up on this podcast pretty often. Our good friend, Danny Bazooka.
Shout out to Danny.
That's right. I'm sure I hate you.
Love you.
I'm sure I told you the story, but we were at his house. His dad's super nice, as you know. And Danny wanted to order pizza since I was staying the night there. You know this? Thought so.
But it's definitely worth telling.
And his dad was like, yeah, Danny, I really want to order you pizza, but we don't got much money right now, so it's going to have to be Domino's. I don't want Domino's. Get us Pizza Hut or Donato's, anything but Domino's. And Danny, I'll get that soon, bud. We're not making a lot of money, so Domino's is all I can afford. And he went on a tantrum. And
single dad, by the way.
Yeah.
Single dad, super nice guy, hardworking guy.
Yeah, and you know how picky of eater I am. I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. I'll do that. Because I could tell how bad he felt. And I was like, oh, Jesus. But Danny didn't care. So it wasn't like me complaining and Danny thought he had to make up for it because I was his friend or whatever. I was like, yeah, it's okay. And so Danny started throwing stuff and breaking stuff off the walls and then ran to his room and came back out with a set of throwing stars and started throwing them at his dad, and not like he was just like tossing them at him. He threw by and it whizzed by his head and stuck in the wall next to him. And he was like, his dad was, Danny, stop, Danny! And I charged down the hallway as throwing stars were passing by him. And then had to like tackle him into the wall. And then Danny said that he threw him against the wall and was hurting him, as Danny was potentially trying to murder his dad for not getting the right pizza.
Casey, are you seeing the way he treats me? I would really like to catch up with Danny because of all the fucked up stuff I did to that kid. Back when we were younger, to me it was just like, oh, it's just for fun. Danny knows it's just a joke, but goddamn, we did some terrible things to that kid.
I don't know if you listened to last week, so I told the episode with the body bag.
Yeah, I actually kind of forgot about that. And on the last episode when you were talking about the backyard fire, that happened twice because.
Oh, did it?
Cody mentioned when we were playing some game. I don't know what it's called. Some game. And I was like, oh yeah, and I remembered that. I was like, yeah, we played that on the neighborhood. Bad Apple, Chad Bogner, Trent Boyhead. But that was actually a different time. That was like we just filled up a big bucket thing of gasoline with like sticks and all this crap in it and lit it on fire, and then we were like, this is stupid, and kicked it. But when you kicked, it just went everywhere and caught that tree on fire. And yeah, Mom caught wind of that and wasn't happy and blamed it on Chad Bogner. So yeah, that actually kind of happened twice, but the first one I forgot about.
Yeah, that one, that's stuck in my brain. I don't even remember doing it again. How many stories you got left?
Oh, I think we could go all night, you know what I mean? But
Oh, you got a lot?
I put a few down, but kind of the more you talk, the more you remember things. And
Yeah, that's why I add them as I go. So if you want to tell a couple more, we could. And then you can always come back on for another episode, especially since Cody's running out of content, I guess.
do you just? Well, obviously, you just got the place set up for twos.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do more. Not every episode, but maybe some.
Yeah. Somebody I've never met before on your show. I think you called him D-Dubs.
Oh, yeah, D-Dubs.
D-Dubs.
Good guy.
Yeah, he seemed like a good guy. But he brought up an interesting point about the 69th episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But, yeah, you remember, I think you were there. You remember Jack and Joe Weeks?
Yeah.
Were you on the camping trip with us when they came camping? And
Was that Gatlinburg? It wasn't camping, but
it was just like in Ohio, somewhere like Eastern Ohio or something.
Oh, yeah, and there's like a big pond in the middle.
We caught all those frogs.
Uh-huh.
All right, so that was yikes, sorry about that. That was a trip when Joe, oh man, I even dropped their last names. Joe Camel was starting to come into himself and really expressing himself,
God.
figuring out who he was, and started, "Hey Joe, can you hand me the deck of cards? What it do?" Joe was just really becoming a man on that trip. So one time, Joe had really gotten on everybody's nerves the whole day. So when they went to sleep, Joe and whoever Joe was sleeping with, we went to the pond and just started catching frog after frog after frog. And then we were like, you think we could catch these frogs naked? Like that would make it any harder to catch frogs. But we did it and caught frogs naked and filled up that, I forget the exact number, but it was in the high 20s, and we filled up most of that bucket with like those giant ass pond frogs and dumped them into Joe's tent when he was sleeping. You were there for that, right? You remember
I remember doing that.
Oh, yeah, it happened, and Joe flipped out, got super gangster on us. I think he threatened to beat our ass, which was never going to happen, but ton of fun dumping those frogs in there. That was the same trip where we bought that non-alcoholic beer.
I remember that Bush NA.
Oh yeah, still my fave.
Joke about that pretty often, actually.
We were like, oh, it'd be so funny, because we were probably 15.
Yeah.
It'd be so funny if they came into the RV and we were all just hanging out, nonchalant, playing cards, drinking some beer. So we set up this whole scenario where we'd just be playing imaginary cards. I don't think we were really even playing cards, and had all these Bush NAs laying around the place. And it didn't fool his mother for a second. She walked in the RV and just looked around and was like, "Those aren't real beers," and then just kept walking. We're like, "Oh, well."
Should have poured real beer into it. I guess I could tell two more if you want.
Oh, I'd love that.
2 or 3 more, you decide.
Let's just go to, till it just doesn't feel natural, you know what I mean?
All right, we'll do 3 more.
I can't believe you didn't say I hate you right there. I thought for sure you were going to say I hate you.
I can only say it so many times. So I thought about adding this one because you're here for it. This is the infamous 8mm story, if you remember it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
It must have just been you and Patrick. I must not even have been there.
Yeah, me, Nick, and our cousin Patrick, all men, well, boys at the time, but all guys is the point. It was probably like 5 in the morning, and we all were watching 8mm, which, as far as my knowledge, isn't a good movie to begin with.
It's one of the smuttiest major motion pictures that was ever made. The movie is just gruesome, dark, fucked up. I don't know why we were watching that.
Yeah, and it was the early days of DVDs, so it was one of the ones we had, so we watched it over and over. And DVDs had the cool invention of zooming in and slowing down and all the features that VHS didn't have. So
Classic Nick Cage.
There's a scene where this guy had full frontal nudity in it, zoomed in on his dick. Well, it aimed at his dick, and then we zoomed in as far as you could on his dick. And then we paused it, and we all sat there laughing as loud as we could and just staring at this man's penis. And then our dad came in, mine and your dad, and Patrick's uncle, I was going to say his niece, his uncle came into our room just getting home from work probably, or just getting up for work.
No, I'm probably getting home. So
Yeah.
it's probably later than 5. It's probably like 7 in the morning.
Yeah, and he came in expecting his kids and his nephew to be bonding. Came in, hey guys, what's up? And just stopped and looked at the screen. All right, have fun. And then just left the room, and we're all, he definitely just saw us staring at this guy's dick, and all of us are just sitting there. And then we all started laughing, which I'm sure he heard as soon as he shut the door. He's probably, what the fuck? What is the matter with these people?
Even crazy thing, he's always just cool as a cucumber. Not much affects him. I love that about that.
Yeah.
I knew those two were gay.
Oh, man.
There was one time when we went on, when a buddy Dan and I went on a camping trip down to the Ocracoke, and we were driving around, having fun, having a good time, and we were like looking for like a secluded beach somewhere, and down the main roads there was like not dirt roads but sand roads, basically just little trails cut out of vegetation with sand. Went to drive down one of those to try and find a beach that nobody was at or doing anything. And when we were driving down, probably half a mile back or something, the car bottomed out and got stuck, and we had no recourse of how to get a car out of there at all. This was actually on that road trip down there. There wasn't even GPS. We went to AAA. You remember the triptychs? Just like a book of page by page directions. Yeah, that's I think it was 2007 or 8. But I always remember that because that was funny. But anyway, since we were going to a beach, Chrissy was with us, and I didn't have like my swim trunks. Do you know what those Softy shorts are? Those girls' shorts.
I think so.
Come in like different colors, and I always have a white band. It's like Softy. They're basically like what we would wear as underwear. But I have a pair of Chrissy's Softies on and nothing else, not a t-shirt, shoes, or anything. So when the car bottoms out, and we're stuck back there, I'm like, oh shit, well, I guess I could walk back to the campsite. That was only like a mile or something like that. So I walked back to the campsite, and then the ranger that's working there is a total biatch. And I told her what happened. She said, yeah, what do you want me to do about it? I don't want you personally to do anything about it. I was wondering if I could call a tow truck or something. You could, but it's going to be minimum $400 just to get them out. And if they have to do anything, it's going to be even more money. And I was like, all right. Well, can I have the number? They're closed. All right. Well, fuck me. So I just walked away from her feeling worse about myself and about humanity altogether. Walking down the side of the road, again, in these Softy shorts, probably with my little butt cheeks hanging out the back of them. And these two rednecks pull up in a rusty old red truck, also shirtless, which I thought was pretty cool. And they said, hey, man, how's it going? I'm like, pretty good. Like, what are you doing out here? Well, we got our car stuck up back there.
It sounds like a plot to every bad porno.
Yeah, that's kind of where just hang tight.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we got our car stuck back there and just looking for a way to get out. I says, hop in the back, man. We got a 4x4. We'll get you right out of there. So I hop in the back of these rednecks truck, and there's literally beer cans in the back of their truck. And we're all just cruising down the road for a minute, just three shirtless dudes, wind blowing through our hair. But I'm like in the tailbed of their truck. They're in the truck. And they pull back there. Sure enough, they assess the situation. Everything turns out all right. They see that I'm with Dan and Chrissy, and I'm not just some lonely boy looking for a good time. And they hook us up right there, pull us right out. We literally high-fived and thanked them, and all went on about our way. Nobody got raped or anything.
Well, that wasn't a good hang tight then.
Well, yeah, I just figured I'd build some suspense. You're like, I had no idea my brother got gangbanged in the
Wouldn't be
Outer
surprised.
Banks. Next time.
So before I get to my actual story, I remember a quick Manning one while we were talking about him. Actually the first time we went to PAX East, just me and him, we were wandering the city, and we went to the Apple store there, and they had one of the crazy-ass Apple stores, like multiple levels, glass window everywhere.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, so you saw how big it was, and Manning took the time to every device on the top level. He's a huge conservative. The top level, he found a picture of Obama that was, oh my God, why am I blanking on this? What is it? The term. What am I blanking here? It's a terrible term for politicians.
Pedophiles?
No, not pedophiles. Oh my God, I'm blanking. I'm going to come back to that because it's very easy. I'm just blanking. So I'll tell my story here quick. This one you're a part of as well. It involves our friends Grant and TC.
Oh.
And this was one of our best ideas, as in definitely one of our worst. We always like to do pranks when the other ones were sleeping. And we were at our house, and we had a balloon launcher. Which, these balloon launchers are they can do some damage with balloons. It takes 3 men to operate them. You get one to hold it, and then other side, and then the one to pull it back and launch it.
More like a catapult. You can literally shoot things like 150 yards with it.
Yeah, so we had the bright idea of, instead of doing that, get a pool ball while Grant was sleeping. And so his own brother was doing this. He was the one actually launching it. He had us hold it. And he launched it and just missed his head and put a hole in the wall. A huge hole, too. Like a deep hole, not huge, I guess. But shows you how fast it was going.
Literally could have just murdered Grant in our bed.
And he's like, oh, shit, I missed him. So he tried 3 more times and just put holes in the wall all around his head. And then he finally woke up. What are you guys doing? And then we all played it off and acted like we didn't know what was going on. And
sorry, go ahead.
Definitely could have and probably should have murdered him.
Maybe it was because the pool balls failed, or after we saw the holes, we were like, no, we got to switch this up. But remember, or it might have been TC. It might have been Grant wanted to get revenge when Taylor Clayton fell asleep. We filled the whole thing up with wet toilet paper.
Oh, yeah.
And then when it hit it just like engulfed their head like a mummy. Just like wet toilet. Those water balloon launchers were really fun.
Yeah. I mean, toilet paper is annoying and gross, but I think I'd take that over a pool ball. More likely going to kill you.
No doubt. It was just it was funny because it was a ball of toilet paper then turned into like a facial mask.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole screwing people in their sleep. Little Zach we tortured him with that. Remember when he slept over and we were like, no, you should sleep on the mattress, little Zach, and just sleep on the mattress. And it's because we pulled the trampoline to the window. And we had enough people to lift up the mattress in his sleep, and we tried to slide him out the window onto the trampoline.
Yeah, that's when he woke up as he was getting thrown out, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like gripped onto the window like Spider-Man.
He was sliding down to the trampoline and woke up being thrown out of a window, literally.
Oh God.
Or you ever gotten like a little bit of deodorant in your mouth and it just dries everything out of your mouth altogether?
I don't think I have.
It's a terrible feeling. But remember when little Zach was sleeping and we undid that deodorant stick and we jammed it in his mouth and he just freaked out and bit the deodorant stick off in his mouth. His face, dude, I will never forget that. It's like he's gasping for air because it just pulls all the moisture out of your mouth.
Oh my God. You can tell the next one made this term looking back to me.
I'll stick with one more sleeping story. Remember good old Stephen Roby? I haven't talked to him in years either. Wonder what he's up to. Maybe I'll look him up. Probably a baseball star by now. But anyway, he was sleeping over at our house. I don't remember if you were awake or a part of this or
I
not.
think I know what this is, but I won't spoil it.
I think he had some type of irrational fear about fires.
Yeah,
like
that's what I
sometimes
thought.
he'd be like, I don't know, do you think there's going to be a fire? I'm like, no, I don't think there's going to be a fire. What makes you think there's going to be a fire? So when he fell asleep, we put a small card table over him and then threw sheets over the card table. So he had like a nice closed-in area above his face, and then we lit a bunch of matches in there. Then woke him up because it smells like burning matches and there's smoke all underneath the card table. And started waking, Steven, fire, 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 we gotta go. See him freak out. He was already pale, but he was as pale as a ghost after that.
Yeah, it kind of backfired too, remember, because we had all it set up. But he was so paranoid that he woke up and just flipped everything off and just ran out. And he's literally ran out of the house by the time we could catch him. Wow, we fucking wasted all this plot line to get matches, and we'll smell it. And then he'll know it's a fire. And he just flipped everything off and just ran out of the entire house.
Yeah.
And it was in the middle of the night because we were being idiots, so for sure.
So you have a better, detailed memory than I do. Because, I can remember good points of certain things, but you always remember things in more detail. There was something similar to that one time we were driving down the freeway and somebody in the front seat fell asleep. Total bitchy girl, nobody liked her. And there was a semi towing another semi, but it was towing it backwards. So it was, when you came up on it, you were coming head to head.
Yeah.
So I came driving up on the thing crazy fast, and then everybody in the car was on the same page. And when we got close, we were all gonna scream, so she would wake up and shoot up and see that we were going head on head with the semi, and it worked flawlessly. And she was fucking terrified, and it was great. And then got pissed. Didn't talk to us the rest of the way home from Cincinnati.
If you got another one, you can tell. I'm trying to look up this term. It's so easy to only be pissed when I find it. Oh my god, I hate you.
Got those mic bounces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only if you do, though.
I think that's all I had listed. But I feel like Little Zach and Danny, we could tell stories all day long. Wasn't there something where Little Zach, he was what was the bongo Donkey Kong thing called?
Donkey Konga?
Donkey Konga. He was a Donkey Konga madman. He loved it, and the speed he played those bongos was ridiculous. He looked like he was on fast forward the whole time.
And he was literally on Ritalin at this time.
That's true. That's true. He was on speed playing bongos, virtual bongos. But he loved those things. Loved them to death. Wasn't it something that happened where he got into a physical fight with D-Dub's Darasite over the Donkey Konga?
I don't remember that. Derek usually watches these, so Derek, let us know.
Yeah,
or if you want to be on an episode.
Oh, this is D-Dub's is Derek, the one I know?
Oh, no, I'm saying that's a different person.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah, do you remember when he played those at GameStop? I thought that's where you were heading.
Yeah, I can't believe they let that kid do it. Every time I thought he's going to get removed from that game.
Yeah, because they had those kiosks set up, usually just like a GameCube controller where people would quietly play games.
Will there be a consolation prize?
But for some, well, it was a terrible idea to begin with, and I can't imagine being one of those employees when they set that up. Like, oh my fucking god, you really put...
Just asking for a disaster. It's just a matter of time before the thing gets ripped out of the machine or that somebody tips the thing over.
But I think most reasonable people will probably realize that and want to try it out. Like, even as kids, I feel like all of us went over and tapped it because you don't want to be too annoying. But yeah, little Zach did it like he was in a fucking rock band and just went buck wild, and everybody at the store would be staring at him. He'd be our friend. Oh my god.
Do you remember our taste of rock and roll stardom at PAX?
I do. You want to tell that?
Yeah, I'll tell about our rise to glory and then our fall to the ashes. Because that first year, so there was a setup at PAX, which I'm sure most people are familiar with, as a giant convention. 100,000 people or more?
Yeah.
But they have a real life stage set up just like you would at like a rock concert or something, but it has the rock band equipment on it, and anybody could sign up, and anybody that had the gusto and bravery to get on stage could do it. So we went on with 2 or 3 other of our friends. What song was it when we did?
It was
Was it Creep? Or
no. Oh my God, I always know this part of the story now. I'm blanking.
Because I remember the other one, the one that went wrong.
Oh no, it's Cold as Ice. I knew it was Foreigner. I was trying to remember which song though.
And it was ridiculous. Most people were playing, and it was just like, nobody was being mean or rude or anything, but they get on, they get off. People were like, it was like we had little groupie fans or something. We were playing Cold as Ice. People were laughing, singing, clapping. It felt great. And the dude, wasn't there like a DJ or what do you call it, MC or whatever?
Yeah, and the crowd kept growing. It was like it was like something out of a movie.
Who are these guys? I've never seen them before. They must be new on the circuit. And yeah, I'm again, this is probably one of those things where I remember the punchlines but missing a lot of the details that you might be able to fill in here. But yeah, we had a lot of success. It was a ton of fun. But we all let it go to our heads and forgot why we really got into the virtual rock band to begin with, and came back to PAX the following year, which we thought we'd have a growing crowd, but they moved our stage to the hallway, which first of all wasn't what we were expecting, and we had a new member of the band that wasn't there. Was Stefan there both times?
I think he was.
Okay. Oh, we had one extra person, so we had to bring that. What was that plastic thing they used at like the soccer games and stuff? What are those called?
I don't.
Zuzuelas.
Yeah, something like that.
There's plastic horns you use at soccer games and stuff. There's too many people to play the instruments, so one person had to play that. And we played Respect by Pantera. Not only were people not into it, they were literally booing us. And yeah, that was the last time we went on tour. Band broke up after that.
I was going to say, I think we know where that really stumbled. I was the lead singer of Cold as Ice.
Were you really?
Yeah. Because it was, everybody's like, I don't want to be a singer. That's how rock band always was. Nobody wanted to fucking sing. And
unless you knew somebody was a total asshole. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, and especially, you know how I am in public, so. But at PAX always just feels like a different place, so I was like, all right, I'll do it. And then it became so much cooler when that's what happened.
Yeah, that's honestly, I mean, I believe you, but that seems so unlikely to me that I don't even remember that happening.
Yeah, that's, I don't know, just in the moment, because PAX is so different. Even when we play at our house, I don't like singing, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I almost got a tattoo at PAX, remember that?
Uh-huh.
Then we
For
all
a
got
video
our
game.
fucking mohawks. That game was really cool, though, and I'm not sure I would have played it other if we didn't do that.
Yeah. That was some bullshit, though. We didn't all get our mohawks because I shaved my head right before that, so I couldn't. I shaved it bald.
Yeah.
Or I would have done that because I would have shaved my head bald.
And all of us thought it was like a crock of shit. Like, it was just some promotional thing. We might get the game a year after it comes. It was the day it was released. It was on our doorstep. Like, holy shit.
So, this is not what I was thinking of, but I was trying to figure out this whole time the term. I still am blanking. But I don't know why it was, because it was not what I was thinking at all, and it's something that I knew. So this is back to the Manning story. Every computer got a picture of Barack Obama, or every device, because there's all kinds of devices in Apple, and got a picture of Obama's head, but then imprinted on his head was a swastika, and he put it on every device and was just running to the other one as fast as they could. And he's like, Case, we gotta go. And I was like, what? Because I didn't realize what he was doing. And then he's like, come on, let's just get out of here. And then he was like, not stumbling down the stairs, but like trying to pace down the stairs, going, hey, sir. And he was like, yep, we got to get out of here. And he looked, after we got out, it was like something out of a movie, like Jingle All the Way, saw like 10 people crossing his arms in there. And he just started laughing so hard when he was outside.
Oh, dude, I should give him a call too. Talk to Manny forever. Good guy, great guy.
See, that's another thing. It's hilarious, and I'm not like, I can't believe he did that. He's disgusting. But if I took Danielle's little brother on a trip, dude, check this out, I'd feel so fucking weird.
Let's walk around Disneyland with Hitler mustaches.
All right. Well, should I tell a quick one to end it? It's one of your
not?
favorites.
One of my favorites?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I've only told a couple people this. I don't even think I told Cody and a lot of my friends. So, one morning I wake up and I go to the bathroom, and I pull down my pants and I start to pee, but then I see there's something on the tip of my dick, literally right the little hole, and I realize there's a tick there blocking the pee hole, and I had to tell my mom. I probably shouldn't have said this, but I did say this. I said there was a tick on my dick, and she literally picked it off the head of my dick, and Nick thought it was the funniest thing, and quoted that forever, a tick on my dick, and it was just literally blocking the pee hole, and I guess it's a good thing I noticed it then, though. I can't imagine what would happen if it crawled inside of there. Might be
Or it just blew up on the tip of your dick and you had blood shooting out of your penis hole. Oh, I guess there's one more thing on this topic. Not really a story, but it's definitely something you shouldn't admit, certainly not in this environment. But you might be somewhat familiar with them because I've heard that a picture circulated to you a while back. I'm not sure if that picture, because there was two. One was real close. It had the hemorrhoids in it. The other picture was just the asshole. But anyway, these hemorrhoids have gotten so bad that they're just leaking blood. Last night I had to not wipe my ass for poop, wipe my ass because there was just blood in my ass. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, I think it's between both of our stories. That's a solid ending, huh?
Yeah,
pretty
I
explosive.
feel about 10 feet tall.
Well, you said you're thinking of more stories, so I'm sure you'll be back on here. And there's always more stories coming,
Yeah, I just need some quiet reflection, You know what I mean? Been a busy week.
Again, I hate you.
I know. Love you.
Well, that's been episode 3. We're going to try and do one of these a month. We'll see what we can come up with. See if we get more guests, or if you want to come back on. We have the D saga that we haven't talked about on here before.
The D saga?
You don't remember D, the prank phone call?
I guess I was thinking Danny D. Or Dick.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the last D I was thinking of, but yeah, that could be a multi-parter.
A whole episode.
All the details, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Casey, it's really been a pleasure. I appreciate you having me in your studio here.
Yeah, not a problem. Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Should I give out my telephone number?
I don't actually do this when people are coming in. That's just what other podcasts do, You share your handles here and stuff.
I guess I'm like an old man. I only have a Facebook handle. That's it. I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, I guess we can end it here. We can clap it out.